Summer is over, we've got this wonderful autumn light again. Time for this year's last outdoor project, which is paving our terrace. I spent most of my working summer on making the borders that should surround the paving, like these clinker brick stairs, which actually were not at all hard to make, but still a week's work. I used these bricks also to build these seats and the top of the backrest. Furthermore, the dry stone walls on the edges to our garden are now complete. And alongside the house I set up these already used paving stones with some low cement concrete and cut a rabbet along one edge in order for them to support these boards of ash wood. This is thermally modified timber, which is heated to about 170 degrees and thus not prone to moisture or shivering. It's quite expensive, but the only way to avoid using synthetical or tropical wood. There already is about 30 centimeters of gravel in there, for which I used a small excavator last year, but I certainly need some more gravel and on top of that some sand before I finally can lay the paving stones. So basically I need to get this thing over here. By hand, of course. This is gravel with grain sizes from 0 to 32 millimeters, which is used as a base for the cushion layer of sand. I do roughly know how much gravel to put where because I measured it beforehand using a laser level. Now for the setup. The undermost layer going directly on the ground soil is now about 40 centimeters of gravel, which certainly is enough in this case because this paving is not supposed to be driven on by heavy vehicles. When paving a driveway, for example, as much as 80 to 100 centimeters of gravel can be needed depending on the load and on the minimal winter temperatures. The purpose of this layer is to distribute the load from above, so it's important to use these sharp-edged gravel stones rather than rounded ones like these. Also, the gravel layer shall prevent frost damage, thus be penetrable for water and not containing any organic compounds. Did you not just hear me? On top of the gravel layer goes about 3 to 5 centimeters of sand or grit as a cushion layer for the paving stones. The paving stones themselves shall be laid about 1 to 2 centimeters higher than their eventual level because they will be stomped down to their final height later on. These strings now indicate the final surface level, so accounting for the height of the sand and the stones, I should now be able to calculate the gravel level. However, in my case, everything's a little bit more complicated and I can only blame myself for that. Well, maybe also my wife. Yeah, we don't like to buy things new when we can get them otherwise, and thus we were looking for leftover paving stones people offering online, which we bought whenever we happened to be near these places with our car. A few weeks later we ended up with I don't know how many different kinds of paving stones. Worst part, of course, is that most of these have different heights, also making it necessary to exactly know in advance where to lay which stones. So I made some plans and models, and I will start with the stones reaching the furthest down in order to fill up remaining spots later on. So the first ones will be these amazing looking porphyry stones, originally from Italy, but bought just in the vicinity. They are about 10 centimeters high, plus 3 of sand minus 1 overlap means string minus 12 centimeters. To get the gravel there, it needs to be well compacted and using muscles instead of oil. I manufactured myself this hand ramp from leftover wood. I'm using this for 2 years now and it works flawlessly. It is exhausting though. Okay, this part is now well compacted, so it doesn't give way under load later. There also should be a slight inclination away from the house of about 2 centimeters per meter, so 2%. This means that this side should be about 4 to 5 centimeters lower than this one. Now for the sand. I'm using a special kind of sand for the bedding. It's called Brechsand in German, which translates to broken sand and means that it has been made by splitting and grinding rocks, so that every grain has really sharp edges. This way the sand bonds way better and will be more stable than your average building or beach sand, which has more rounded grains. It's twice as expensive, but still below 20 euros for the ton. In front of the stairs, I want the paving to be so high that all the steps have the same height. So I made myself this little jig for getting the level right. My steps are about 13 centimeters high and about 39 centimeters deep. This complies with the staircase formula, which tells you the right ratio of these two measures in order for the stairs to be comfortable to walk on. It states that the depth plus 2 times the height should be close to 63 centimeters. I used the very same formula for building my stairs inside. If you want to see that, there's a link in the video description. So I want the surface to be 13 centimeters below the first step, 12 centimeters before being compressed, 11 to get 1 centimeter of clearance for the string. First I will make a border for that area using 2 rows of porphyry. And here the result of my first attempt. Okay, so far I think it's not too bad. I definitely like where this is going. I hope my plan with mixing up all those different stones can even work out. It definitely does not make things easier. But hey, it may be the last terrace I'm paving, so I better challenge myself a little. But that's only the stuff for the next part. See ya!